Well, what did you see about Catherine Iowa? Did you see that post? No. That's the one that really, really started all the fuckery today. Was this post she made? So one moment, y'all. So there's this post that she made that really just set everybody off this morning. So anyways, okay, I want Vicky to come back so I can bring Vicky back on camera and answer her question, because Vicky was asking a question about having ancestors who were Christian, and you being involved in an ATR practice. How do you work with them? Excuse me, I'm drinking wine and it's really like all up in my throat. I don't understand. But one of the things I was telling Vicky was, and I have to have my phone turned this way, are you all hearing weird feedback with my cord? Because that's the reason why my phone died, was because I can't have my phone plugged in and do a Facebook Live, or there's a lot of electricity feedback in the background. So can somebody say something? Let me know if there's any yes, tonight there's no feedback. Good. Thank God. Because usually it's like and nobody ever tells me. And then I like have the best Facebook Live ever. And then it's like, oh God, this sucks so bad to have to sit there and listen to this. But I'm waiting for Vicky to come back. Vicky Washington, where you at? I'm waiting for Vicky to come back so I can invite her to the camera. But the first thing I was telling her is there are a lot of Christian grimoires. I'm having a hard time looking at the camera because right here is me looking straight ahead, but right here is me looking at the camera. So I'm going to look over here. Vicky, okay, I'm going to bring you back, Vicky, okay? So we can finish our conversation. I don't know where you're going to show up. And then she came on the camera last time. She was like, hey, and I was like, oh, stop. And this is not a flattering camera angle.
Hello.
Hey, Vicky, but when you have people. Okay, Vicky, I can't see you. Where you go? I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't see you.
I had to come outside.
Oh, you.
Hold on.
She out in the dark. Now you got to turn your camera the other way. Now she froze.
Hold on.
I just wanted to test this little piece. Okay, you back? You got.
Is that better? All right, I'm back.
What the hell you doing? Turn your camera. Turn your phone around because the camera's.
I had to go outside.
You got to turn your camera the other direction. You got to turn your camera the other.
Oh.
Because I have it landscape now because my phone is charging. Okay, now.
Okay, there we go. Better.
Like I was explaining to Vicky that you can do Christian magic. You have to understand that the first Catholic priests were pagans. So there are tomes, Cross Keys being one of the best ones I've ever read of Christian magic. Also, you have to check with your spirits because sometimes spirits stay in their religious pantheon. I had a best friend like that. She died when we were 27. She died of cancer 20 years ago. And she won't let me work with her graveyard dirt. I went up there. I was like, I got Jesse Owens graveyard dirt that day. And my girlfriend was like, nope, I ain't down. So understand that all of your Christian relatives are not going to be down. As far as Christianity and ATRs, a lot of that is changing. A lot of that really had nothing to do with ATRs. So you have to know that the stuff you see here in America was done for secretization reasons, because you could get killed for practicing ATRs. To this day, you're still going to be persecuted for it. I often wonder how I'm going to sell my house if somebody walks up in here and sees all this shit. I don't know. But the people who I bought the house from had the relics and stuff like that, and holy oil and those things. Thank you for the dreads. That you guys can still hear me because Vicky's frozen, and that's because she took her ass outside away from the Wi-Fi. So Vicky, I'm gonna turn your camera off, and yeah, you need to go back in the house. Whatever you smoking, you gotta wait and go back in the house because she can't even hear me. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. You can't hear me.
Crazy.
You hear me. Go back.
I can't hear nothing you saying.
What? Go back in the house. I'm gonna turn off Vicky's camera. But anyways, I hope I answered her questions. So if anybody else has any questions, let me see. Whoa, a lot of people. Woo, 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 woo. You can hear me. You can hear me. You can hear me. Okay. So I was actually ending ATR, African traditional religions or African diasporic religions. Basically, let me explain, because I think that a lot of people think ATRs are like straight out of Africa, like straight out of Compton and shit. And that's not how it works. You know, as we were brought over here, they took the priests first, y'all. And as we were brought over here, we were split up in their efforts to keep us from practicing our powerful magic, our powerful religions. Most of these people weren't even Christians. These slave masters weren't Christians. They just found out that Christianity was a great way to make people, to mind fuck people, basically. And that's why they started making black people become Christians, to the best of their knowledge anyway, and trying to dissuade them from using their magic. But you have to understand that unlike a lot of the European traditions and magic and things like that, our magic never died. Theirs did. Their religions died. Christianity came and ran right shot through them and got rid of them. Ours never did. And then for a large part, that's because of secretization with Christian idolatry. And you have to understand, they got it from us. They didn't. We didn't get it from them. So our spirits are not their saints. Their saints are our spirits. So when they were changing over from paganism, now one of the things somebody was asking about Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was Jesus' wife. Scholars have proven this. She has some books that she's going to tell us about, and I'll list them when I get a chance on our recommended reading list. But Mary Magdalene, they panned her as a whore, but what Shadow says is that she was a priestess in the temple of Isis. And, you know, she knew what she was doing, and she had gifts and sex magic. And of course, if you have sex magic gifts, you know, if you're a man, you're a king. If you're a woman, you're a whore. Go figure. As David said, there ain't nothing new under the sun. Next question. Thank you for the compliment, Nella. So we were doing Q&A, but I was really doing more A. Doing more asshole. Talking about people, than answering questions. So if you guys have any questions, I try to be, girl, you know what? There's just too much to cry about in this life. I have a stepdaughter that tells everybody that I'm so negative, but really I just tell the truth. And she don't like it. And people don't like the truth. And then you're negative because you're telling them where they fucked up. You know? And so, hey, Tiff. Tiff, you could be here right now. But thank you for your generous help this weekend. Tiff was helping me paint these stairs, y'all. And I'm taking pictures as I go along, but I ain't showing y'all shit till I'm done, because these stairs are testing what used to be my Christian disposition. God, you would think that painting stairs was so fucking hard. I'm just old. That's where that yoga comes in, because I've been doing downward dog on the stairs, painting them up. You cannot sit down and paint them properly. It's impossible. I wish they had like some of, like, you know how they have those little chairs you ride up and down the staircase? I wish I had one of those. So I could just paint, because this shit's for the birds. It got to the point where I done paid some white woman to come in my house and paint my ceiling in my kitchen and my family room, because I'm like that cat in the video. No more. No more paid. I'm telling y'all, don't watch these fucking fix-it shows thinking that you're gonna be able to do this shit. They make you be like, I can do this. You put some bass in your voice. You're like, I'm gonna go get a cabinet. I'm laughing because I remember the day that me and Ashley watched a video about replacing the flange at the bottom of a toilet. We didn't really need to replace the flange. We finally, after 7 hours, figured out how to pull the fucking flushing mechanism out. And it's coal. Never buy coal toilets. Their parts are not purchasable in stores. Ding, ding, ding. Nor are they cheap. And nor are they easy to install. And nobody knows how to fucking do it. But even on YouTube, they made that shit look easier. And just, get one of those big, gigantic, what do they call it? A wrench. It's a U-shaped wrench. Went to fucking Harbor Freight, went to Menards where they know nothing, but they actually had the tool. And it looks so strong in the videos. It's kind of like that shit you buy from Dress Lily. It looks so good in the video. You got that motherfucker tool, it look like tinfoil. That motherfucker didn't take off no flange, not nothing. I'm just letting y'all know that don't fall for these home fixer-upper shows. Oh man, y'all got all kinds of comments here I ain't seen. Let me go back and I'm looking. I'm thinking y'all ain't said shit. It's not rolling along. But let me look and see. Do not, no one has a question. Talk about generational curses. Oh, yes, I'll talk to you about that. And we talked, Kiana, check out the video from the past hour about the ancestor altar. Money rice, I don't use it. It's symbolic. It's green. You dispose of any magical workings as dictated by your tradition. Hoodoo, leave it at the crossroads. I suggest you should leave it, or sometimes in a cemetery, but I suggest that you leave it at a garbage can on crossroads. Okay? Don't be leaving shit out in the middle of the street and fucking up people's cars. But the ancestor altar was answered in the session before this. What is your number one herb to go to or root? Wow.
You should turn the camera around.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. You forgot who you were talking to, right? I don't. You asked me what my favorite 100 roots are. And why? Because every herb and root has a magical, medicinal, and mundane purpose. Often they intertwine. Okay? So you can't use one root for all things. So it would not behoove me to have a favorite. But if I was going to have a favorite, I got some favorites. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got some favorites. Let's see. Jitney of Crete. I always like the shit you can't get. Not only can you eat it, it smells good. And it does have a magical purpose that leaves me at this moment because I don't use it that much. I've used it for client work. What other? Lavender. Because I just like to go to sleep. I'm lazy. I can tell you, everybody's lazy. Everybody's lazy. Everybody likes to rest. I love my bed. I get my bed every night and be like, why did I stay away from you so long? Why did I spend hours talking to people that don't even really know me when I could have been loving you? I have an abusive relationship with my bed. My bed is like an abusive boyfriend. You ain't going nowhere today. I'd be like, okay. Don't nobody love you but me. You don't need no friends. That's what my bed tells me. Okay. So my bed is an abuser. Okay. My bed triggers me and shit. Makes me think about my ex-husband. It's like, you want to be here. You want me, girl. And my ass be like, yes, man, I want you. So I'm a little special too. I sleep in a big ass black velvet bed, so it's homey. So I don't have I have some favorites, but I guess glass candles. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, the flame suffers is a way to do it. Matt, I'm gonna give you a preview to Candlework 201 with an example. Here's two candles. One not so expensive, one a higher quality of candle, but flawed all the same. Most of the time that people have problems with fixed candles is that this occurs. You got a candle that was very sloppily put together and your wick is not in the middle of your candle, which will create user error. Now, everybody fixes their candles differently. I put a certain amount of holes in my candles and drop a drop of essential oils. Sometimes fools juice it all up. Explosion, fire, user error. Not every time a candle cracks or turns black means that you're cursed, okay? So you gotta have, what I do is, and this one's not ideal. I'm gonna go downstairs and look and see if I can find another one. But this one is closer to the center, okay? So you have to make sure that when you are using your herbs and roots, you use it in a clockwise motion. If it's good magic and I use my forefinger on my right hand in a clockwise motion, I'm putting herbs and roots. If I'm doing baneful magic, I'll use my left hand and put it in a counterclockwise motion. And this is a preview of some of the stuff I teach in my class. So you want to put the herbs around your wick. You don't want to put it right where the wick is, because of course that shit's going to catch on fire. And yes, that's why I have God's gift to magical workers, the bamboo skewer, because not only does it help me put my holes in my fixed candle or carve my other candles, it also, when I light my candle, if shit starts to catch on fire just a little bit, I can move it a little bit out the way, okay, without extinguishing the flame. Another thing, don't let your flame extend beyond this glass. A lot of places have extra long wicks, and you'll light that shit and it's all like crazy for a minute. You panic and shit, you put it out, give it a minute, but just cut it down. I would even cut this down just a little bit when I got it. Just don't put, you shouldn't be able to count each and every individual root, but you should be, like this was going to be a broken no more candle, so I'll demonstrate. Let me see, do we have that? Is it, yeah, here we go. So, I open a broken no more candle. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put either carved sigils or put holes or whatever that I do in it. Everybody has a different thing because it's a right hand working. I'm working with my right hand, and I'm going to sprinkle, and I'm going to have to probably turn the camera around and show you guys this. But I'm going to, and you going, okay, this is what you don't do. Okay, here, let me turn this on. Dude. Into magical shops, and that's your fixed candle. I swear I can count every single herb and root in here. That's a no, okay? So you want a little bit more, because the idea behind a fixed candle is not just so you can burn it and read the soot, but it's so that you can burn it and read the roots when it's done. And I only really read roots effectively when I'm high. But this is the way, and I'm trying to get this right, that I would send this candle to someone. Okay, so if you got it in the mail from me, of course, this shit's going to be all over like bedhead. You're going to have to fix it. But this is the amount of herbs and roots that I'm going to use when I'm fixing a candle for someone. And I'm having a hard time here because I'm a little lit. So here you go. That is how I'm going to, and we'll have the wick, of course, pushed up and the herbs out. That way, when the candle starts and the wick starts, you're not setting herbs and roots on fire. You're keeping it away from the wick. But in the end of all of this, and I would push a little bit more of this out, at the end of all of this, you should have some herbs and some roots to read at the end of your candle. So, so if you add it's sometimes the amount of herbs and roots that you're employing. But I'm not charged this candle or fixed it yet, so I'm not going to keep that in there for now, because I charge the candles, I pray over them, I ask the spirits to help. Etc. Skippy, I have my own little secret herbs and recipes, like they say at KFC, that I do with clients' candles, and that's why I charge what I do for the candles. You're not really paying for the raw materials. You are paying for the roots and herbs, but you're also paying for the magical work that goes into the candle. But in the end, when you're dealing with candles, that magical work, once it comes into your hands, it's your magic. So I want y'all to stop taking your asses in these groups asking people to read your wax. Okay, oil lamps. I prefer oil lamps to vigil candles, but they're more maintenance. I use hurricane lamps. I love me a good money lamp. And I've been so busy making money that I actually forgot to make the money lamp. And I got to do that. Once again, and I'm going to tell you, folks, run the magic when the shit hits the bricks. Folks don't run the magic when things is going well, you know. But I think that you should develop a habit. And I'm going to work on, I've been talking about habits that people talk about resolutions. I'm going to make my vision board about the habits that I'm going to develop in 2018. In 2016, I did a huge vision board, which I'm going to show you guys on New Year's if the last piece of that board is accomplished. There's 2 pieces on that board I haven't accomplished, 3. One's going to come later on, and I'm cool with that. But I'll show you the vision board as soon as I accomplish one of the major goals on it. But the rest of them, I've knocked them all out. And that's why I didn't make a vision board last year, because there was still stuff that I was still working on, and I was still energized from 2016's board, but I really didn't need one in 2017 because I was just building on what I did. So I like oil lamps, and that's one of those habits I'm going to develop. But vigil candles are good. They just have other. How did I find out magic was my family? My grandmother told me when I was 6 that she was 6 years old when she saw her first witch, and then we had all these spirits walking around our house and shit like that. And then as an adult, um, they started coming around again. So that's the short answer for that. Um, you know, how did the magic they practiced? We didn't even consider it magic. I didn't know about magic. We called it. We didn't even call it hoodoo. That's why I can't either hoodoo and what hoodoo. We called it root work. We called it fixing roots. We called it throwing. So I always knew about it. I just didn't know that I could do it, and I didn't know that primarily some of the reasons that people in my family had the problems that they did was because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they spent their entire lives denying their divinity, and that's why they're in the fucked up situations that they are. So that's the answer to that question. Hey, Kim, was I supposed to call you back? We'll talk more tomorrow. I can't remember who I was supposed to tell you back. I'm drinking, so I don't know. Let's see. Um, you can only pick one. I can't remember what we're talking about picking one. So let's see if there are any other questions. Lavender. I love lavender. I love my bed. And Cecilia, can you hear me right now? You guys, is it making that horrible noise with the plug in? Because that's why that's why my phone died the first time. Because I can't have it plugged in. So let me scroll down. God damn it, I hate that. What happened to that stand I had? I had a stand. Let me see. Somebody says you can't hear right. Let me see. I'm going to scroll through here. You all give me a minute because I'm looking. If you guys cannot hear me right, please tell me. Candles made out of beeswax. Yes, but not for magical work. But I'd like to. But the motherfuckers are expensive. Chopsticks are also good. I like. Oh, you bought one of my fixed candles? Thank you. But remember, you still going to have to move them roots out the way when you get it, okay? Let's see. How would you find out? Well, well, it depends on what you want to do. Okay, if you're not like moving towards a particular spiritual practice, I encourage you to start reading and studying and just starting talking to your ancestors, finding out ways from different people, places, and things where how people culturally connect with their ancestors or with the spirits. So there are witches that don't use ancestors, they don't use gods, they worship nature, which is kind of what we do, but it's personified. So that's a really hard one. It's different for everybody to find out. But hey, how about you just work some spells and see what happens? And start reading about superstitions and traditions because those are going to give you the answers. If you're black, start reading fiction. The Hand I Fanned With, anything by Toni Morrison, Mama Day, Linden Hills. There are all kinds of books that, oh God, anything by Zora Neale Hurston, both factual, anthropological, and fiction. Read those books, and you'll start to see the connections where you think that that turn the sound all the way up. Oh, sorry, I don't know what's going on. When you fix the candle, you must leave it going if it is a 7-day fixed candle. Tomorrow night, $45 for 2 hours of everything you ever wanted to know about candles but was afraid to ask, okay? I can't give you all the details, but it depends on the candle, but 7-day candles, you always keep going. Deandra, what you can do is you can email me and I will send you my suggested reading list. Now, just because I suggest it doesn't make it the God's given truth. It's just the books that I've read or mostly read, because some of them are like tomes of knowledge where you use as resource books. I tried to read the Bible like that. That was hard. That I realized that there are some books, like I read the introduction to the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells because that's like my Bible, and I love Judica Isles. But I'm gonna read those spells when I need them, or when I'm just curious about if I want to fuck someone up, what do I do? Or if I want to bless somebody or cleanse somebody or do something, and then I also have a spiritual godmother. Yeah, you can send Messenger. I'll send it to you as an attachment, and I'll add you to Big Liz Conjure. So just inbox me. But I'm Liz at biglizconjure.com. What the fuck was that? Does it sound like something's in the walls?
Yeah.
I think it's the trees.
Okay.
Because it does it to me over there, and it makes me. You hear that?
Yeah.
Well, that's rain.
No, it's sidewalk.
You sure?
No.
That sounds like some shit in the walls.
I don't know.
You never know what's going to happen here. You act like you knew here. Let me tell you something. My daughter came downstairs. Will you hear that night when she said that shit?
What?
I think it might have been just me and her. She came downstairs and she says, "You ever hear them folks upstairs when it's just me and you in the house?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, she's like, that nervous laugh. I'm like, "Yeah, I hear them." And we've been sitting down here. She's not even at home, and they be up there slamming shit and throwing stuff around. I'm like, "Hey, no horseplay. You spirits be getting unruly shit." You gonna be like, "Look, I like you. You welcome here, but don't be fucking shit up. Because if they slamming something, they breaking something." Did you hear it the other night?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
What Trinity was doing? Look, she in the basement.
Wait a minute, no, this was upstairs. I got up to make sure you didn't fall downstairs. Because the guest room is on the other end of the hallway where my daughter is, and my bedroom's on the other side of the house. And I heard some shit crash that woke me up out of my sleep, which was the same night that the thunder woke me up and I was hungry. And you could not, she was swallowing her goddamn tongue, and the whole fucking earth was shaking. We could have been dead. She'd have been dead sleep. But something fell, and I asked the child, I said, "Well, what the fuck was that?" And she's like, "I don't know. I just minded my own business and went in my room." I'm like, that's because she always afraid it's going to be some spirit. She's like, "I'm just minding my business. It wasn't me." So I said, "Fuck it." That's what she was like. I don't know who it was, what it was. You the one with all these extra motherfuckers up in the house. And I got up, and I'm not white. So I'm not going looking for the problem. Okay, if you come upstairs, I got something for your ass. But I'm not going downstairs looking for the problem in the middle of the night. I figure if you want me, you know where I am. So if it's human, you're gonna have to come up here and get some, okay? But if it's spiritual, hey, wherever y'all want to be, as long as y'all ain't fucking with me, I'm good. So I just gotta make sure you didn't fall down the stairs. But after that, I wasn't really looking. I don't go looking. Ooh, I heard you sound. That sounds like a fucking werewolf on the roof. I'm not going to find the fuck out who that is. If you need a spiritual godmother, depending on the practice that you will be part of, I can help you find one. How do you find your tribe? You really have to just start paying attention. We have social media. That's why I don't understand how folks ain't got no friends. You ever see a bitch walk down the street with some clothes on, you be like, she ain't got no friends. Ain't got no real life friends. Ain't got no Facebook friends. You know, when you take that selfie in the morning, they be like, "Bitch, take that off." Okay? No friends. Okay, there's no excuse in the age of social media that you can't get friends and you can't get good spiritual friends, because if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be doing none of this shit. I would have never been a photographer. I would have never met the guys from the voodoo store. I would have never met all these amazing black witches in Ohio without social media. So it can be a place where the fucktards, what is it, home where the deer and the buffalo roam. This is where the fucktards roam, okay? Yes, but this can also be a place of extreme spiritual growth. And so you just have to get with the right people. Change one TV station. I had one change my TV station, change to Bell's TV. Oh wow, that's funny. Yeah, Spirit changing the channel. That is hilarious. No, people are not too busy. You just can't be a bugaboo. Okay? You know what? Your spirits are going, your spiritual teachers are going to give you shit to do. People come to me all the time telling me, "I want to do voodoo," and I'm like, "What do you know about voodoo?" And they don't know shit. And it's very apparent that they've been confused or people have been telling them wrong things. So I give them things to read, because the bottom line is, and I'm going to tell you from my own initiation journey and the things that I am having to do in order to prepare to become an initiate. It is not, if you are in a house or an elay that does not make you study, I have some real problems with that. So what tells me is if you're willing to study and you're willing to learn and seek for yourself, that's what's going to make you a good initiate to a religion. What's not going to make you a good initiate to a religion is someone who's just a follower. You don't become an initiate to be a follower. An initiate puts you into a leadership position. Even being a hunzi in a voodoo house, you have responsibilities. Okay. I always make, oh, well, good. Maybe it will be a blessing to each other. She says, I always make a video when she's making a spiritual bath. That's very good. That reminds me, I have to send a friend of mine who was a victim of an assault. And it was one of those microaggression assaults. And I want to send her a cleansing bath. Because, you know, when you deal with some shit like that, you just want to take a bath and sea salts. So yeah, let me see if you guys have any other questions. But no, don't assume that people are too busy. Understand this, and this is what I need to tell people who are interested in ATRs. You know, I always appreciate somebody who says to me, hey, I've read this book, that book, and this, and I saw this site, and this is what they say. What do you think? Rather than give me the answer. Like, how am I supposed to know who my spirit guide is? How am I don't fucking supposed to know? Oh, shit. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But a priest or a priestess can. And if it took 15, 20 minutes on the internet, you know that. But when people ask me certain questions, I can tell they haven't done any work whatsoever. And when you don't do work for things, you don't care about them. That's why you just don't give shit to your kids. Now, you know how it's been when you was young and stupid. If somebody give me something now, I'm going to hold on that shit. I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to love it and hug it and squeeze it and thank you very much. But when you're a child and somebody gives you some shit that you ain't worked for, you fuck it off. So when you're a spiritual child, and most of us are, that are very new to this particular type of environment, we're children. We need to be taught. That's why we have godparents. So get you some. Start reading about the basics of any path, religion, or magical practice that you wish to pursue. Find one that resonates with you. You'll know it when you'll know it. You just know it. You know some shit for you and some shit that ain't for you. You know? There's some stuff I've read about other ATRs that I was just like, and I saw it too many times for it not to be true. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. But see, unlike I do like European commercials. I like to talk about the positives of why I was taking something about instead of the negatives of why I didn't choose something. So the positives of why I chose voodoo is everybody's welcome. Gay, straight, man, woman, men and women are mambos and guns, and those are equal as far as level of priesthood. Okay. And they don't make any prejudice against people who are straight or gay or homosexual or bisexual or transgender. That none of that matters in voodoo. What I love about voodoo is that it encompasses all brown people. You know, voodoo looks at, and they've embraced some white folks, but a lot of times that's been unfortunately because of the greed for money and not so much as a legitimate initiation. But there are some very legitimately initiated white people. Unfortunately, with the fuck shit that occurs on the internet, that's few and far between these days. And you know, you got to understand that Haitian voodoo in particular is the religion of the Haitian Revolution, the only successful revolution in the history of black people in the New World. Okay, what they call it, because they don't shit new about it. It's old as everything else. But that's beside the point. That's neither here nor there. I'm just using colloquialisms. So that voodoo in particular has spirits that do not like white people. That well, I am even scared of. I remember there's this one particular spirit And they said that if she shows up at a fete, that the white people I was in the house with, they're like, we don't mess with her because she doesn't like white people. She's a petro spirit. She'll cut you. And when that spirit showed up, basically, I got, because I was like one of three black people in the room, I got pushed to the front to pick the mambo up off of the floor after her possession. And I thought she was still possessed because this was my first fete. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not going over there. And you know how the room gets quiet just when you say something loud and obnoxious? I was like, I ain't black enough. And everybody heard that shit. Look at me. She'll kill me. And she didn't. But there are spirits in that religion. So I don't understand why anybody white would want to be a voodoo son, because there's some spirits in there that do not want you around. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't really doesn't make sense. I don't want to be not. Yeah, that's another thing, because I asked the question, I wanted to hear the answers, and the ones from white people were very interesting about why white people want to be in black people's religions and get mad when we tell them that they can't be. But you know, it's like they were like this one picture, this little girl having a temper tantrum. But I just, for the life of me, I don't get it. I mean, I think there are beauty in all of the traditions, and the really cool thing is, yeah, I do have European blood, so Odin, probably I could venerate Odin if I wanted to. That's not a god that calls to me today. He might call to me tomorrow. You never know about these things. That's what spirituality is all about. It's an evolution. But I never, ever going to be part of a religion at the basis they don't like my people. And so I just, like I said, I just don't get it. So, you know, to each his own. But, you know, do I believe that spirits are more evolved than that? I believe they know what the deal is. However, I think they still acknowledge our human condition. So I don't think that spirits are quote unquote colorblind, but I think they understand a bigger picture than we do. But they also understand the praxis in which we have to continue to work. You know, I'm hoping that there's some better shit than this. That's the only reason why I do any of this, is that there is going to be a place where I can go, where I can continue to live, where I will be an ancestor, where I can serve my people and the people that I love, and I can go back and forth between worlds and dimensions. That is what I believe in. And so I gotta believe in something better than this. You know, is there racism among spirits? I don't know. But if you read the stories of spirits and gods, I don't care if it's Orishas, I don't care if it's Greek gods, y'all know they can be with each other, with mere humans, not only petty, but very vile towards each other, which for me is actually kind of comforting. Because I don't ever have to ask, you know, when you're a Christian and everything was so perfect, and you had to ask, well, why are people so mean to each other? What's wrong with this world? Well, we're only acting like our gods. I mean, you know, it makes sense now. Why are people the way they are? Because they emulate who they are made by. And there are good spirits, and there are good gods, and there are bad spirits, and there are bad gods with questionable morals. And with the lovely thing about magic is that you use them as you need them. Now, there's caveats to that. Am I correct? Because there's some spirits you just can't pick up, use, and put back down, because they'd be like, oh no, bitch, we on now. We friends. I'm moving in. So y'all might want to be really careful who you picking up and putting in your magical arsenal. And it's sad that my phone died, because I lost like half of the people that were listening. I guess they think, okay, this bitch is done. I'm going to bed. And I'm talking so much, my voice is bad. Yeah. So, okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah, you can. You can put all my live videos. I try to upload them to YouTube, and it doesn't happen. So Oh, Tamara cracks me up. Oh, that's so funny. But they call to us. We're special. Because white folks swear they've been called by the Lord. They just swear it. Look, I don't even really consider at first how I came to voodoo being called by Loa. My family was visited by Loa, but I don't consider that being called. I see that my spirit showed up one day and like, hey bitch, we're here. How you doing? You thought we'd left? Psych. And uh me being my post-Christian superstitious terrorized ass, I called my friends at the voodoo store and was like, hey, bring your asses over here. I got hates. But it wasn't a thing where shakalaka, I'm called by a spirit. Oh no. And for most Black people, I would dare to say that that is probably not their experience either. Black people come back to ATRs because Christianity fails them, usually. I would say, wouldn't you? Do you know? I don't know. If you Black and you can say this was not the case for you, please say so. Okay?
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Christianity
failed me.
Christianity fails you, and then you go. That's a galvanizing push, because if Christianity didn't fail you, you wouldn't leave. You wouldn't even look, because that's what Christianity does you.
A part of who I am is finding.
Right. It's the cycle of finding yourself, but there always has to be that catalyst. There always has to be something that provokes a change. And for most of the Black people, and I'm not saying all, but most of the Black people that I talk to, it's the church. They're like, one day I just sat up and went, what the fuck?
Because I left the Catholic Church
right
first.
Right. Well, any church, it doesn't have to be holy roll of Black folks, no, it was Christianity, because there were very few Black people that I know that were not raised Christian. And usually, if you're not born in the ATR,
mine was relearning the psychic and spiritual ability I had naturally.
But we all have it.
But then realizing that, well, the Catholic Church, don't do that.
Exactly. It failed you. It told you to deny your divinity. So whether you really thinking about that level or not, it didn't even have to be something catastrophic, like for a lot of people, like molestation, or because they're gay and the church puts them out or makes them feel bad for being gay, or letting your spouse abuse you. There's a lot of reasons why church fails people. That's not all what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be like a catastrophic event. Right. It has to be an event where the church has left a hole, and it don't fit. You don't fit in that hole no more. They're square and you're round, but your circle is so much bigger. Right. Your infinity is so much bigger than the box that they've tried to put you in. So for the most part,
and it forces you to deny your true self.
Right, yourself, your divinity, your history, your people. But usually it is something that it does inish the church, because Black folks just love the church. As a matter of fact, our political ground zero, if you will, our base was the church. Now we ain't got one, because all Black folks have left the church. Now all we got is fuckery and foolishness, and women fighting over the pastor and the pulpit, and Black folks standing behind Donald Trump with smiles on their faces, talking about he's a man of the Lord and he can't recite a goddamn Bible verse to save his life. I'm telling you, if they put a gun in his head and asked him to recite a Bible verse, all he has asked could say was Jesus wept. He cannot quote a Bible verse. He probably can't even read. That's probably why he doesn't use teleprompters. And that's why he makes so many motherfucking mistakes. So, yes, Grandma's hands were scary at the time. Yes, I have a cousin who I met through, and he's very important to my genealogy studies, who is linked to me through DNA. And I found my people here in Ohio who are related to my grandmother, which is very important because my grandmother was a witch. And even she didn't use that terminology. She said I was 6 years old when I saw my first witch. She never mentioned witches to me before, but she did all the witchy shit, astrology and incense and, all kinds of statues of all kinds of deities, Jesus, Hote, everybody was up in our house. In various forms of taxidermy, and plants that grew through the window. It was very strange childhood, but awesome nonetheless. And we just, we didn't call it witchcraft, so you didn't know that you were to be called. We just got everything. The guy from the Nation of Islam came by. My grandmother was a radical, so they would sit up there. My grandfather was born in the 1800s, so he kind of just sit up there and nod, and but he would be bringing the what do you call that? What's the name of the Elijah Muhammad's newspaper? Something Star, I thought it was. But anyways, yeah, we might be cousins, girl. And so my grandparents gave us a range. I had a Jehovah's Witness Bible school teacher. I went to the Baptist church for Awana. We knew about, Buddhist prayer beads. I remember when my stepfather thought he was going to be Buddhist in the 70s. I just had everything. We had everything but a Ouija board. And we probably had that too, and I just didn't know about it. My grandmama probably had it because we had my experience and my family would just roam the house, y'all. And they would take shit and do shit and turn on TVs that weren't plugged into power. Final call, that's what it was. And that man would come over every Sunday, right after my grandparents watched the Hour of Power in the glass. With was that Schuler? He's out of Cleveland, wasn't he? The guy with the glass tabernacle? Yeah, so just everything. I had everything, and I'm so blessed because of it. But I ended up being a Christian for a lot of years. Church, but not, yeah, I had a very strange church. Spiritual things, having tea with the Lord. That's awesome. Some sort of root work, made bags and warm in her bra. Everybody's grandma had bags in her bra. My grandmother kept her money in her bag, in her bra, and I used to hate it too. Come here, baby. I want your sweaty titty money. She had it all up in there with her badges. She probably had crystals. We had like globes of things. I don't know if they were crystals because folks didn't talk about them. But all I can tell you is that my childhood triggers are the smells of patchouli and weed. I'm 5 years old again. If I smell a combination of patchouli and weed, so I'm strange. I come from strange people, and so spiritual diagnostic. I've never heard of that. Is that kind of like the disc that they do for jobs? Don't you hate it when you okay, there's 3 Black women on my team. My boss being one of them, but being the only D in the room, me. Everybody else is on the I and the S and the C. And I don't even know what those other ones stand for, introspective, something, but mine's for dominant, and I'm the only one. And I'm like, yeah, but it was really cool is when the new vice president came in, and she's like, I'm a D too, and I was like, yeah. I was feeling bad till she showed up. So somebody said their grandmother was a witch, told her she was one when she was about 9 years old, took time to call you back to it. Is your grandmother still with you, Portia? Because that would be important to talk to her about some more. Yes, a power hour. I used to love when I was a little girl, and I understand the world and the way it worked. Billy Graham and Robert Schuller, and as an adult, Charles Stanley. And as a Christian, still enjoyed, if I was of that ideology, some of the very practical things they had to say. But at the same time acknowledging, okay, no, because y'all was on some fuck shit, so sorry. It's a very strange dichotomy to be between when you've been a Christian and the difference between what's truth and what's not. Oh man, I really will start talking to her now, Portia. She'll come to you. Do things, take baths, use oil sprays. You can take like one of my colognes, or you would make your own. I have this one called To Affinity and Beyond, and it's herbs and its roots. And what it does is for astral projection, spray that on your pillow. Take a trip to see grandma. I'm telling you, it works. When my mother died, I was not practicing. My sister is very aware and knows about the practice. She has prophetic dreams, but she doesn't practice. But she lets my nieces make candles with me and stuff, and everything like that. So it's all good. And but we grew up with it. But when my mother died, she visited me and my sister for like a week straight. Same dream. Both of us had the same dream at the same time. And she used to be sitting up in my sister's living room, which she couldn't get to because she couldn't get up 3 flights of stairs at the end of her life. So she never saw my sister's first apartment. But she was sitting in the apartment and we were like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I just came to fuck with y'all. And we'd be like, you're dead. And she'd be wearing her whole blue sweatshirt and her stuff. And she's like, I know I'm dead. What y'all doing? I just been like, no. But if I had known better, I'd have been like, oh, this is some cool shit. Tell me what happens when you die. Why in the fuck did that not occur to me? Even as a Christian, to be like, okay, you're dead, you're here, so tell me what the hell's going on. I mean, like, you don't get that type of spirit communication often. And unfortunately, because you are brainwashed by whatever religion or non-spiritual practice or skepticism, Big Liz Conjure is on YouTube. But I do more on Facebook than YouTube. Y'all, this is too much to do all this shit. But, like I said, you can get in touch with her now. And if you have dreams and your dead relatives appear in dreams, start learning how to condition your mind to take over when you're in a dream state so you can ask questions. Stop passively being part of your dream life. Start being an active part of your dream life, and then you will find connections with spirits and ancestors like you have never known. Because I kick myself. We basically told her, you're dead, be dead, cut it out. That was wrong. And now she'll come through for me, and she'll still come in dreams, but she's not willing to sit and chat like she was. We blew a perfect opportunity to find out a whole bunch of shit. And maybe it wasn't meant for us to know, but I'm just like, shit, let my mama show up in my crib again. I'd be like, what you doing here? How you doing? Sit down. You want some tea? Oh, y'all like coffee. I'm gonna get you some coffee, and I ask her questions. But we get so scared about asking people questions. The best way to be an active part of your dream life, there's a few things. Get enough sleep. Too often people don't get enough sleep. And I'm gonna get ready to get my ass off of here so I can go to bed. The more you sleep, the longer you sleep, the longer those cycles are. So rapid eye movement, I think those are like at the beginning and the end of your dream states. That's not your deep sleep. Right. So, the REM is rapid eye movement. So maybe that is the deep sleep. Yeah. Okay, because there's like a twilight on either end of that you're not really, you're kind of in between both words. They fuck with you. That's when you get sleep paralysis. I don't like twilight. That's why I don't like that moment before dawn either, because the sky turns gray. That's when the shit be crossing up and crossing over and going back to their respective places. Yeah, I don't like the in between shit, which is the reason why they stop clocks and why they cover mirrors when people die. Don't get caught up in that in-between shit. So I don't like that. I don't like that state. I like that deep sleep state.
That's what when you journey, it's that twilight. But
you think so? I think I do more of my journeying when I'm in a deep sleep, because that's when I'm straight subconscious. I'm gone. But that's the thing. The twilight areas are a little bit easier to control, but when you can't control shit with sleep paralysis until you learn I've had to learn how to conquer that fear as well. You have to learn how to, when that starts happening, when that room starts buzzing, you have to be like, oh, fuck no. No, I mean, literally, that's a point I have had to get where, I used to, when I was a Christian, beg and plead the blood of Jesus, and that helped a little bit after a while. But you really have to calm some of these spirits. Like, no, we're not going to do that. Some people have to actually train themselves, priests and priestesses especially, not to become possessed. You can't just be walking down the street and be like, you have to have a certain level of control. So one of the ways I would think is to practice it is in the deepest forms of sleep. because that's still your mind. You can still change how
With the point where you say, "Oh, I'm dreaming,"
yeah,
and then change it.
right, or just you know what? I don't know what it is about dreaming that makes us feel helpless, because a lot of times people just take a passive approach to their dream. So they'll say, okay, this is a dream. I can't change this. I've changed enough dreams that you can change it. So if you can and you find yourself traveling to someplace either really crazy, really spooky, really scary, make the most of that shit. Either or get out. Or leave. Depends on what you want to do. Me, I ain't scary like that no more. I'm be like, that's the place where I'm gonna go, what's over here? I'm not gonna do that in real life. I'm not gonna come downstairs and be like, what was that noise? But if I'm dreaming, I'm like, what was that over there? You know, let's go look at that. I think because dreams do, they allow you to be more adventurous. They allow you to think more. They allow you to take chances. So first of all, you're going to want to have that understanding, and it takes a long time. That's like a discipline, I think. I don't think that's something you could just turn on. Learning how to maneuver yourself in your dreams, right? And when your kids tell them they go in places in dreams, listen to them. Don't tell them that they're lying, because you also have to make sure they're very careful where they go. The next thing is there's herbs and roots that are available, like anise star, not anise seed, anise star for psychic phenomena, because they're two different types of plants. There mugwort, wormwood. There are other ones that you could use to help you with your psychic powers and with your sense of intuition and your spirit communication. You can make tinctures, oils, mixtures. Would you get off the chair? Here comes this heathen. Watch this, y'all. I'm gonna let her come on over here. Come here. Come here. Oh, now you don't want to come, because I'm gonna actually let you on the table. You're gonna see. You're gonna bust your ass because you don't know how to act. See, she don't know how to act. Do not put your booty in that camera. Look at her. She don't know how to act. Jessica, can you turn around and say hello to the peoples? No, I don't let her on the table, so she's like real happy right now. Although she might bite me at any. Don't you bite me? Don't you bite me at any given moment? And do not put your booty in the camera. Can you lay down? Hello. Okay. Well, we're just gonna do this. You can have that zit I have on my chin. Okay. So, any other questions before I go to bed? Could you please not? Come on. No, stop. Stop. Sit down. Okay. Say hello, Jezebel. All right. She's fat. She's crazy. She's fucking crazy. Say hello. She's torn up every fucking leather chair in my house. My $2,000 couches, a $300 ottoman. She's torn them all up. And the vet wants her put on Prozac. Goodbye. No more damn pets. No more pets. Keys of Solomon. I don't know much about those books. If you're talking about like Keys of Solomon and I think the third and fourth and fifth and sixth books of Moses, I don't know. I'm fat and crazy too. I guess that's why she fits in. I don't know much about that book, but I could research it and get back to you. You heard of the Keys of Solomon? Because she keeps mentioning it. I've never heard of it. But Solomon was a magician. You all have to understand that Solomon was a pagan damn magician, okay? Joseph was a diviner. Who else was a diviner? Moses was a conjure man. Joseph was a diviner. Solomon was a witch. Yeah. And he was smart too, because when Yahweh asked him what he wanted, right, that's what they're talking about. I'm telling you, you saying that your grandmother brings you the keys of Solomon in your dreams? Well, let me tell you something, boo-boo. Let me tell you something, boo-boo. Whatever you were learning in your dreams, keep a pad and paper next to your bed. And I've done this. This so sucks though sometimes. I do auto writing when I first wake up. I can't read none of that shit. I started typing it in my phone now, because if I'm writing like when I'm just coming out of sleep, but by the time you logged into your phone and opened the notepad application, you're fucked. It's gone. So try to keep a notepad next to your bed and write down anything you remember the minute you wake up. And that often helps because I've had some really fucked dreams, and I really think spirit has allowed me to forget what the dream was about. Because it would have it really it, but the still the energy, the spirit of the dream will leave me in a kind of a messed up state all day. So it's better to know. Um, yeah, some people use frankincense, some people use cascarilla, some people use salt. Some people sometimes I use pebbles. I was trying to cast a circle outside for the solstice, not this past summer, but the summer before that. And I ain't have anything. I went and took some pebbles out the garage from my gardening, stuff that you put in the bottom of a flower pot, and I cast my circle with the pebbles. So you can cast a circle with air. You can cast a circle with your wand or your hand or your attention or candles. I gotta find a better way to make candles, especially chime candles, if you're doing a quick circle, and stand up in grass. I want to find those stakes that you put in the ground that hold things, and I want to be able to use them for candles. Because wouldn't that be amazing? So if I had the north, south, east, and west, or if I did the 4 points, the 5 points of the pentacle, that I had something that I could stick in the ground that I could put my candle on top of. Now that would be cool. So now we got to find that. I know we can find that because there's got to be some shit in a garden store. One of the things that you probably figured it out, but I don't like the fact that they don't make them tall enough. You ever go into Menards? You throw it in a circle. Somebody said sometimes I throw it in a circle. I don't know if that's what she did because I think she white, but I'm ignorant. Sometimes I just throw it in a circle. No, I do not use my booty to cast a circle. But no, seriously. They make those things. You always see them. There's those garden hooks. So there's something that you put in the garden, and it's got a hook, and it's meant to hold a plant. You get one of those. You go to a dollar store, and you get one of those new lamps that they have with the holds the tea light. And you can either use a tea light or you can use a full size light because you can melt the bottom of a candle and stick it to that and hang it from that pole. And that's how you can get your candles to stay on, stay lit, and all of your points in a circle.
You can also use crystals.
You can use crystals, yeah, but I like candles. I like fire. I just really want to cast a ring of fire. Can that be my circle? Just take some gasoline, cast a circle. Just a thought. What could you do that with? You could do it maybe with saltpeter. We'll fuck up your grass. There's gotta be a way that we can cast a ring of fire. Beyonce did it. I can too. She sang a whole damn song in a ring of fire. I think I can cast a witchcraft circle of fire. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman. Gotta be a fucking way to do this. I'm serious. It would be cool as fuck though. I bet you wouldn't nobody leave that circle. That's another thing. Motherfuckers leaving circles once they've been cast. We've had this conversation. Okay, I saw some shit on YouTube about, because I'm always interested in how other people practice magic. So of course I'm watching these videos. It started with us watching videos about mojo bags until we ended up watching mine again because I had to teach a class and I thought maybe I could get some new ideas and perspective. And I just ended up watching all these really sorry ass YouTube videos about mojo bags and ended up going back to what I was going to teach anyway. But I do try to look at the narratives of other people because that's the way you learn. And so this one witch was talking about, how to cast a circle. And so if you don't have any ideas about what casting a circle is in witchcraft, it is a symbolic ring of protection. Red brick dust would be excellent for that. I keep tons of that. But I want to set shit on fire. It's what we're supposed to do. So I'm going to find out from somewhere. I bet you I'll find out in Haiti. I bet you how to cast a ring of fire. Because This particular person was telling people about how to create a doorway in their circle in case you had to leave the circle in the middle of your spell work. And I'm like, what you mean? Wait. Why am I leave my circle? I don't understand. It does not compute. That's my protection. No, I'm not going to do that. Look, one thing about spell work, it's kind of like cooking Asian food. When you are cooking Asian food, it involves a lot of chopping, and sometimes it involves a lot of small pieces too. And I found the best way when I really want Asian food and not black girl cooks Asian, putting lorries in your shit, I'm telling you, before I got like authentic recipes and stuff, is have all your stuff prepared. That's the one thing I learned that will make Asian cooking easier for you, because you're not cooking things for too long. You're very quickly moving different things, following specific directions, so it's kind of like, even like building dollhouses, you got to read all of the instructions first. Then you go back, and as you're putting it together, then the instructions make sense, but you got to read them all first. Remember how we didn't read all those instructions for that bookcase and forgot about the fucking back, and we had to like kind of rig it to make it work because we didn't read all of the instructions. Okay, that dust and dirt, yeah, I mean your ancestors' graveyard dirt could cast your circle of protection, your any of those things. But I want to set some shit on fire, so I'm going to figure out, especially in time for the Conjure camp out, how we can cast us a circle of fire. But everybody's gonna have to sign a waiver. Motherfuckers always want to sue somebody. So if your ass gets caught on fire for trying to leave the circle because you didn't have all your shit, bring your wand, bring your crystals, bring your shit. You should never cast a circle and then walk out of it. Where did you do that at? I don't. When she said that, I was sitting there going, huh? Who? What? And that's the reason why everybody's so confused. They're just confused. Magic is one of those really cool things that you can make your own, but at the same time, come on, be for real. Nobody wants structure. That's the other thing. We're lazy. We want things quickly. We don't want to work to get them. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And we come from a can't mentality. Most of that's because your parents telling that you can't do this and you can't do that, or society telling you that you never will do this or you can't do that, or these jobs are for these types of people and those jobs are for those types of people. And then, people just don't want to take risks. So there's going to be a Conjure camp out. Yes, promise. And for the first time in the history of me organizing something, it's actually going to be multiracial. And there's a reason for that. Because, well, I'm going to be real honest, Black folks don't like camping. I'm not going to depend on all people of color to show up and be at this event, because I know how y'all are, because I'm related to y'all. And I posed this question to Black people, and then you'll get a lot of Black people like, yes, let's go, let's do this. And then you get other Black people that are like, nah, son. I am not the one. I am not going to go out and sleep among the crickets and shit. But I'm telling you, you ask white folks to go camping, they're like, yes, let me go get my tent. Then I got a tent. Okay, I had a tent. I lost my tent in the move. I got a little like picnic table. Is that a cat toy? Yeah. Jesus Christ. Trini unearthed them when she cleaned the living room. But yeah, so for those folks that don't like to be one with nature, we're going to arrange for local accommodations wherever we're having the camp out at a hotel. So if y'all want to go and sleep in the hotel, but I'm just going to let you know, don't initiate into an ATR, because you're going to sleep on a mat on the floor outside or in a building that's not so inside if you're going to initiate. So you might, you right, she keeps her tent in her van. I used to keep mine, that's my quarter white. I used to keep mine in my trunk and my beach chairs and my beach. Kimberly can tell you, when she came, I had this beach party in Chicago because all my Facebook friends wanted to meet me. I had my beach umbrella. You could tell where I was because I had my rainbow beach umbrella. So that will be interracial, and it's going to be interesting. What I'm hoping it will be is an experience for people to learn from each other. What I don't want is people bringing their isms, schisms, and jisms with them to this camp out. Just a place to learn from each other and be open and allies only. I'm not gonna deal with no people who are from a racist background who want to come and challenge. No, that's not what's going to happen. So yeah, so I keep a picnic basket. I got an umbrella. I got a little bitty table. Although my fat ass can't get on the ground, it's one of those ones that like this tall. You take the Ravinia with you and shit. No, I'm sitting in my chair. I keep chairs. I do have to rebuy my tent though. But I might be that bitch with the blow up mattress in her tent. I might be. But maybe not. Maybe by then I'll be accustomed to sleeping on the floor. Who knows? But yeah, we're gonna try to find some place, and that's why I figured, well, I mean, Black people will come to outdoor events. Sacred Waters is one of them, and I'll be there this year, and I'll be bringing an assistant with me or my child, depending on where she is in her spiritual process. And so that's a lot of people of color, and they're coming in there sleeping outside. So I'm not going to make the assumption that most of us won't, but I do know that a lot of us don't want to. And I'm really actually runway tendencies. I got runway tendencies too. I got a little bougie in me, but one of the things I'm gonna do in 2018 is push my limits, do things that make me uncomfortable. And I will honestly tell you, the thought of an interracial camp out makes me uncomfortable because there's gonna be some shit, you know. But the petty part of me kind of wants to watch it unfold. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a good time. I mean, because people who are not Black, who do know me, who live here, who are in the cult community, know that I'm cool as shit. I just have certain beliefs and principles based on my religious rules and beliefs, and I didn't make those rules, but I'm going to follow them because I'm devoted to my path. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I know me now. I know we're gonna be there with a lot of vegans. We're gonna have to figure out this whole food thing, because when you outside, well, I mean, I guess if you're vegan, you can figure out what you can pick and eat. But we're gonna try to make it good for everybody.
Maybe some food trucks.
Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm bringing my hot dogs, and I don't want you motherfuckers to try to tell me what's in hot dogs. I'm gonna go get Hebrew National, okay, and I'm going to burn them on fire, and I'm going to eat and I'm going to have s'mores. And you all are not going to make me feel bad. You are not going to food shame me because I'm going to eat a motherfucking hot dog, okay? My daughter is a vegetarian. My best friends are vegan. I love vegan food, so we're going to make sure, and it ain't going to be cheap. Potluck, no, fuck that. You don't eat everybody's food. We're witches, remember? No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're not doing potluck. I don't eat everybody's food, okay? Most of my friends don't pick on people for eating meat, but sometimes they do. So, but we're gonna try to have a wide range of food for people. If we can't, everybody's going to bring their own stuff and we're going to be in a place where we'll be able to cook our food. And awesome would look, don't be talking about my hot dogs, okay? We're having a Conjure camp out this summer, Lewis, and I was just telling folks, don't say shit when I bring my hot dogs, okay? But if we can't find a good way to healthily feed everybody, and I'm going to talk to other people that have these types of events, right. And I don't care if people don't eat meat. I eat vegan. Sometimes I eat vegetarian sometimes, and sometimes I love my meat. It just depends. But yes, the true root being the food. I know how to cook magic. So no, we ain't cooking for each other. We are going to have an independent outside source bring in food, whatever kind it is. If not, we're going to have a situation set up where you can bring your own food, and we'll all be able to cook it outside. I just really want to learn how to do some shit like that. Because when they turn off the grid, bitch, gonna need to learn how to light a fire. And I'm sorry, they're gonna do that shit one day. I don't know when, but they're gonna do it one day. They keep telling people about this stuff. I drank this whole bottle of wine. I drank it all. It's cheap rot gut, but I'm not even drunk.
Tuesday stuff.
I'm not drunk. Maybe. No, I'm not. Anyways. But we are going to try to make it really cool. Florida. Look, dude. I love y'all. I'm about to piss you off really bad. I done seen some shit in Florida. I had a cockroach this fucking big run up my leg in Tampa. Fuck Florida. Okay? I'm not going. They mosquitoes this motherfucking big. They like
6-inch cockroach. You like
flying cockroaches. They're in fucking Texas. Fuck you. I almost got fired from my job. I was a consultant with a big 5 firm. And I came into the office that day and I was like, I gotta go. I was like, because a fucking cockroach crawled up my leg. That's why I lost. I almost got fired. They did send me home early. I just hated that fucking particular project I was on. It was a whole bunch of telecom companies. Fuck you, man. Alligators come to your fucking door. You see that video with dudes trying to work the knob? The motherfucking alligator's trying to work the knob. If you do not believe me, you go and look that shit up. No. The palmetto, it's not a palmetto bug, it's a goddamn cockroach. It's a roach that's this fucking big. Fuck Florida. Look, I get enough wildlife here in Ohio. Central Ohio's okay. My daughter said there was a frog in the bathroom 2 weeks ago. We just closed the door. We didn't go in there. Because I was like, I'll get him a terrarium in the morning. Like, I'm asleep. I'm not doing this. And Shadow was like, I don't fuck with reptiles. And I was like, well, 2 inches that ain't fucking with this frog tonight. Close the door, put a little rug underneath so he couldn't sneak out under the door because I really didn't want the cats to kill it. We got up the next day. He must have went back down the toilet because people said when I went and looked online to see where this frog may have come from in my house, they say that often they come up through the toilet. But let me tell you what the fuck comes up through toilets in Florida. Baby crocodiles, baby alligators, snakes. No. Oh, God. I'm triggered. I hate you. I am never doing anything in Florida ever. I'm not even going to Disney World. Our cousin lives down there. Ask her if I've been to see her yet. Nope. I ain't gonna do it. I'm like, I'm going to Haiti, but I ain't fucking going to Florida. Ain't that bad? I'm convinced. I'm sorry. Every horror story comes out of Florida. I'm convinced that there's no place worse in the world for me to be than Florida. I've been there. I used to go to Orlando all the time for work, and the only thing Florida can do for me is Charlie's Steakhouse. So she said she just peed on herself. Fuck Florida. FF. It's not for Follow Fridays. It's fuck Florida. Sorry, I love y'all, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not. I'll be hard pressed to be in Alabama with my damn Bama ass relatives. I'll be the only light bright there. My father went and found the yellowest fucking woman he could, and the only thing I got was nappy hair. I wanted dark skin like my father and curly, beautiful hair like my mother. And as life would give me, it got swapped. Now, I do love my hair now because it is curly after a fashion, but I never wanted to be yellow. And especially at my fucking family reunion, because I'm standing out there on the porch and I'm looking around to see of all these beautiful black faces, and I'm like, bling, a little sign for your teeth. I had a woman at a family funeral chase me into the bathroom and say, "You such and such daughter, ain't you?" Because she knew my mother. "You look just like her." And everybody, every single last one of my brothers and sisters look just like my daddy. They're very dark, and he looked just like my father. I look just like my mother, but my daddy did have 5 children with 5 different women, so they also but they all favor him. My mother was the only one that the genes just said, bam, no thank you. No thank you, Howards. we'll just be taking over here. So yeah, I actually have his lips, but yeah, it's painful family reunions. I have a cousin. I got some really interesting stories. I want to tell y'all some stories about my Alabama relatives, but I have a cousin who I thought had cancer. Okay. I have a cousin who's still alive. I have very intelligent relatives. I have one cousin who is like missing most of her teeth and just really looks like she's like on some type of, what do you call that? What's that? Meth. Because of her teeth and stuff. She's the fucking head of the math department at the local high school. She has a master's in mathematics. Brilliant. Just looks like, never judge a book by its cover, right? So I have another Alabama cousin that has part of the back of his head missing. Okay, like somebody like reached in and carved out a piece. And yeah, imagine seeing that for the first time when you're 16. Okay, and if you never met these people before, and you're right. Yeah, I wanted brown too, but okay. And I still know how to pronounce your name, Ms. Zuber, because I have to go back and look, and I drank a whole bottle of wine, but there ain't no way. I've looked at all your beautiful, lovely relatives. She wasn't coming out. Brown girl coming out. She has the most beautiful family. And she's been sharing her ancestral pictures. And they're beautiful people. But they ain't brown. They are not brown. And I come from high yellow too. Okay, so I know I wanted brown so bad. And then I'm looking at all these high yellow children born with these red afros in my family. Because my mama and them was a light, bright, nearly white, and they married the blackest men they could. Thank you, mama. I'm so glad you married the blackest men you could, but we're translucent. It's so weird. But I have his cousin, the back of his head is literally like missing. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, he survived some sort of terrible cancer or disease, right? So finally, after I get to be about 24, no, maybe I was in my late 20s, when I finally got the courage to ask how my cousin came to be missing part of the back of his head. Can you take one guess why my cousin is missing part of the back of his head, Shadow?
Correct.
Come on, we're in Alabama.
Or delivery of the doctor? No.
Hunting accident.
Mm.
One of my other cousins shot him in the back of the head, and he lived, y'all. I was so fucking done. No baby accident. She said that. Shot in the back of the motherfucking head. Okay, and lived. My cousin took out a clear ass chunk of the back of his head. They was out there shooting coons. Coon accident, literally. Coon accident. I could write a book about these people. I was just like, now y'all gotta understand, I'm bougie. I'm from Chicago. I'm a Yankee, and I'm sitting here, and I have to tell you about the story about the time my aunt accidentally, my same cousin accidentally run over the family dog and knocked one of his eyes out. But we'll save that for another time. Yeah. So I come from some very interesting stuff. Yeah. So yep. I really wish that I'd gotten. I got my father's lips. I got his hair. Well, I got his hair somewhat. My hair changed after I had my daughter. Because I can show y'all this picture where I look like Don King. My hair got racially ambiguous the moment I decided I was going to wear dreadlocks. And then it was like, I don't think so. I'm going to get white now. I'm like, wait a minute. Back then when I was just trying to wear that loose curly fro, you wouldn't hear none of that. I had a Brillo pad that moisturizer could not touch. And then all of a sudden I had my daughter and my hair changed. So, but in any case, y'all, now we just talking shit. But yeah, I'm going to bed. Oh, I also got some Lindor truffles. So I'm gonna have a piece of chocolate. Then I'm going to bed. So if you guys ever want to do this again, just let me know. But there will be a Conjure camp out. It will be multi religions, multi-cultures, because I do believe that there should be times when we should all come together, because pagans are also a minority. You know, pagans are also mistreated. Pagans are also discriminated against. So, I think there are places where we can all come together, and then I think there are places where we do have to respect the boundaries of culture. And I think that an event like this will probably help us do that even better. So, you all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.